For ACUsports.com, I'm Grant Boone, talking some Wildcat men's hoops with the season beginning Friday night. Got Coach Joe Golding, and we have sophomore post player Riley Payne. Riley, let's start with you. Last year, that gauntlet you guys ran at Maryland, at Duquesne, at St. Bonaventure. You get some difficult teams this year to start out with, but they're spread out a little bit. Give me a sense of what you and the other players are thinking about this early pre-conference schedule.
I think the schedule's good for this year. There's definitely some tough teams on it. We have a tough schedule, and they're going to give us a good look for how our conference schedule is going to be and give us a good kind of test for where we're at.
You know, you were put in a tough spot last year with so little depth on this team. You played a ton of minutes. Give me a sense of what it's been like with these new players coming in, some low post players who are going to add, along with you, a different feel down low.
Yeah, we're definitely excited to get the new guys. They've been doing good, and like you said, the depth is a lot better this year. We'll be able to rotate players and see who's playing good that day, and it definitely helps out, and we push each other and get better from it.
What have you said to the newcomers about life in the Southland Conference? Because, you know, if you're a Jalen Little coming in from out of town, if you're a freshman coming in like Drake Green, for example, or Isaiah Tripp, you may not know much about the Southland Conference. You got to see it up close and personal last year.
We've definitely let them know that's very tough, very competitive, and the coaches have done that as well. And like I said, that's why they scheduled the teams they did, so we can play them and kind of have a test of where that's going to be so they'll know beforehand going into it.
Let's talk to your coach here. Coach, it's a good thing that Riley's, pre-med. He's needed to work on himself a few times last year. He took some shots in the face. You asked a lot of him, and he really stepped up against some really good opponents, I thought.
Yeah, he did. He was a big surprise for us last year. You know, I really didn't expect a lot. He was coming off a pretty serious injury, which he was non-mobile for about 6 or 7 months and wasn't able to do a whole lot, so didn't have a true redshirt year like most people do to have a chance to get bigger and stronger and more athletic. And so we weren't expecting a ton from him, but he came on in the fall. And the thing about Riley is he doesn't do anything great. He does a lot of things good, you know, and then he has a great basketball IQ, obviously very smart in the classroom, but he's smart on the floor as well. And when you tell Riley to do something, he gets it done, you know, and those are the type of kids you win with, and those are the type of kids you want in your program.
Well, you went and got some help down low for him this year, didn't you?
Yeah, we did, and we're trying to get him, obviously, we played him a lot at the 5 last year, if you want to put numbers on positions. And you know, so obviously in the non-conference schedule, he was playing at 6'9", 6'10", and 7 foot. And Riley's probably 6'2.5". You know, I think he likes to claim he's 6'5", but that's so he was obviously undersized. But Riley's very good on positioning. He's a very smart player with a high IQ again. And we thought with our team last year, he defended that position as well as anybody. And this year will be the same. We've tried to move him a little bit more in the perimeter. But depending on what and how our new guys come along, you know, Riley's going to see some time at the 5 again, whether it be foul trouble or just because we trust Riley down there, you know. And so we've tried to help him out. So it's not his biggest strength to just sit him down there on the block offensively. We're trying to get him out more on the perimeter. He's worked really, really hard on his shot. He still has to become a better passer and getting people open in some motion stuff. But Riley brings it every day. He's a hardworking kid and extremely happy to have him in the program. I wish we had 15 of him, you know.
Well, depth in general last year was such a problem. The ability now, I mean, Coach, all those games last year, you're looking on the bench, and either because of injuries or whatever, sometimes there just wasn't any. Literally, there were no bodies there. And now I just think what a dramatic difference it is this year.
It's huge, and I think you'll see that early. We're going to play 9 or 10 guys, and you know, early we might even, considering how the games go, play a little bit more. And we've got guys that got a ton of experience back, and then obviously, like you said, we've added some new guys. What impresses me, I think, what people forget last year. And I was talking to our staff about that this week, was we didn't really get any better in practice after Christmas.
Didn't have anybody to practice.
We didn't have anybody, and we couldn't practice. And so it was we never got better. We kind of just survived and got through. And you had guys like Riley and Parker and Cook that were playing a ton of minutes. And so we were trying to protect them, and we had times going into games with 7 or 8 balls. So that's what's been so refreshing, and I think that's where this team is so much further ahead. Of course, the summer helps, no question.
Having them here, right?
Yeah, no question. But more importantly than that, every day in practice, we had a practice last night with so-called starters on one team, and the next 5 on the white team won. And at no point would we have had that last year. So that's a great sign. That means those young kids are getting better, and that's a great sign for us in our depth.
Okay, tell me, as folks try to get used to some of these new faces, and this is the first time in 4 years that you've brought back a really solid nucleus. What do you say as you go in? What are you most convinced that you will be able to do this year as a team?
I've been very impressed early by these guys and the way they move the basketball. We're a very, very unselfish team right now. We've had 2 close scrimmages, and we've shown that in both scrimmages. We're not forcing shots. We're not playing a ton off the bounce where we have one guy dribbling it 6, 7, or 8 times, which at times we did a lot last year. The ball moves. They're trusting each other. We've had multiple scrimmages where we've had 20 assists, so that's really rare at this time of the year, and that's a credit to us having guys back, and then that's a credit to recruiting guys that know how to play. But right now, so far, most impressive thing from this group offensively is just how they share the ball, and there's no egos. Now we're going to have to work LD back in it. LD's been out. He got back in this week, and so we've had some time away from him, and we got to be careful on how we handle LD.
There's the luxury now, though, of not having to rush Ladarian Williams back.
No question. We got some depth there, and then we've obviously recruited some really good players, and it gives them an opportunity to play early. But that's been the most impressive thing for me is how well these guys have shared the ball.
Okay. Speaking of recruiting, National Signing Day, I know you can't talk names. We've got some paperwork that has to be made official, but I know you've got some people who are going to make it official here very, very soon. Without mentioning names, what can you tell us about this class next year?
It's continue to building blocks. On top of this, it's I know Coach Collins uses that phrase all the time. We're not a microwave. We just can't turn it on and immediately just get our food hot and have this thing ready to go. We're in a transition for a reason. We're in year 2, and we're trying to put another class together on top of the class we just got this previous year that's doing extremely well right now, and continue to recruit the right kids. And I'm very excited and very confident that in the very near future we're going to have some great news in ACU basketball with some quality young men that fit exactly what we want in this program, both on the floor and off the floor. And I'm extremely excited about my staff and what they've been able to do.
Quick thing about that. You told me that a light came on for you not long after you got here, and you said, wait a second. Rather than some things, whether it's cost or whatever, being a detriment, there are so many things about ACU that are so attractive to so many people, and it really solidified in your mind this new thrust, this new idea in recruiting that I want to go after a certain kind of player. So now your second year really doing that, are you finding lots of candidates, people who really do say, yes, that is the kind of place I want to go?
Yeah, no question. Recruiting has changed, and obviously Division I helped us. We weren't able to get that kid in Division II. That kid wasn't coming here, and but very simple. You're right. I went and spent some time at Butler and spent some time with the coach there. That's now the head coach right now there, and he was at Gardner-Webb and spent 3 days with those guys and picked their brains. And we want to find the right kid that fits Abilene Christian, what we stand for as a university, what we stand for in the classroom. And
guys like this over my shoulder.
There is no doubt, and we feel like that will be a direct correlation to how they play on the floor. And we're not budging on that, and my staff knows that. We made some mistakes early in this process when I first got the job, and obviously we were at Division II then, but everybody wants to win, and you want the quick fix, and that doesn't work here. I'm a big believer in that, and moving forward, we've done it, and this will be year 2 kind of the process, and I think you're starting to see some results of that.
All right, last quick thing. So many people are looking at the schedule. They think, ooh, Tulsa next week on the 19th, and then home for Duquesne. But there is a game Friday night at Hillsdale Baptist. They're not a member of the NCAA. How important is Friday night for your team?
I think it's extremely important. I mean, we are a very young team. We have 3 seniors. That's it. But on the flip side of that, we're also kind of a mature team. We have a nucleus back that played a ton of minutes last year in Division I basketball. But then we have guys like Harrison Hawkins, who hasn't played since last Christmas. You got LD, who hasn't played since last Christmas, and then we got 5 new guys who have never played a Division I basketball game. Now they've scrimmaged, but that's different than the big lights getting on in the uniforms and getting your name called out. And so there'll be some nerves. There'll be some rough stretches, I'm sure. But I know our guys will play hard. They've played hard in both scrimmages. That's what this team has done. And I know they'll be excited to get out in front of the crowd. And then Hillsdale's good. They've played 6 or 7 games already. So they're probably a quarter through their schedule. So that's always nervous when, for a head coach. And but I know our guys will be ready. And then obviously we go to Tulsa and Duquesne, and we're going to find out a lot about our team really quickly.
All right, so it starts this Friday night, ACU men's hoops against Hillsdale Baptist. That's a 7 o'clock tip at Moody Coliseum. On the road next Wednesday night at Tulsa, then back home Saturday the 22nd. One of the biggest games in ACU men's basketball history, one of the best teams to ever come to Moody Coliseum, the Duquesne Dukes, and that'll be a 4 o'clock tip-off at Moody. For Riley Payne and for Coach Joe Golding, I'm Grant Boone for ACUSports.com.